Hello and welcome. In this video, we will be discussing the 4 values written in the Agile Manifesto by going one by one. Individuals and interactions over process and tools. Traditionally, project team led by the project manager was paying much attention to the process. The majority of them followed the waterfall project management technique based on the article published in 1970 by Winston Royce. The waterfall method itself was a 5-step process as described by him. In 1985, the United States Department of Defense captured this approach in their standards for working with software development contractors, which stated that the contractor should implement a software development cycle that includes the following 6 phases: software requirement analysis, preliminary design, detailed design, coding and unit testing, integration, and testing. Following stringent processes used to make the development process rigid, there wasn't much scope to adopt changes during the project's execution. Additionally, a well-defined process is not the answer to every problem, but being adaptive to change is. No matter how detailed and well-defined a process is, there will always come some barriers that couldn't have been anticipated by any process or tool such overcome. When individuals sit together, discussing possible solutions to a problem that result in a unique approach to solving a complex problem. Innovation doesn't come from rigid processes, but it does come from experimenting with various techniques. The Agile Manifesto says that we should focus more on having competent people working together effectively. Processes and tools are not harmful, but don't use them until they make things easy and effective. Working software over comprehensive documentation. A lot of documentation used to be done even before starting to build the software. The features, specifications, layout requirements, test cases, design were documented long before their arrival time. This approach had some drawbacks. Like what you have documented will be outdated by the time you are done with it, you may create many features, which the end user may never use. The time spent on the documentation of such features also goes in vain. Too much documentation. It also delays the project, which later becomes an opportunity cost for the business. Because of all these drawbacks, the Agile Manifesto favors working software over comprehensive documents. Instead of wasting a lot of time creating lengthy documents and then taking feedback based on those documents, we should take the feedback based on working software. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. In the traditional software development method, the customer was involved only at the beginning of the project for contract negotiation. One more time, if there were any changes to be made in the contract. And finally, at the end of the project, the development process was more focused on what is written in the contract instead of being focused on what the customer wants. This approach neglected the value of customer feedback during the project. When software is developed without the customer's constant feedback, the result is often a product that does not completely satisfy the customer's needs. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors customer collaboration over contract negotiation. Agile emphasizes take on constant feedback from the customer throughout the development process. So whatever is being developed is also being seen by the customer. Whenever the customer feels that the project is going in the wrong direction, they can steer the project by providing inputs to the developers. Responding to change over following plan. We're not in favor of the change was very much a usual statement in the traditional project management approach. The waterfall approach was to create detailed plans in the beginning and then following them through the project. Being rigid leads to creating an improper product, but it also makes us miss the chances of bringing changes that could cause our product better. That is why the Agile Manifesto favors responding to change over following plans. When software is developed with agility, we start with a plan that gives us enough idea of the direction we want to move. Then as we proceed and seeing new events unfolding in front of us, we incorporate those realities into the ongoing work. So these were the 4 values of the Agile Manifesto. Follow them in your project management to ensure its success.